Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Maaike, and today it is time to talk about some new makeup releases again. Mainly eyeshadow palettes, you know that about me because that's what I keep my eye out for. But again, I have a few bits here that aren't eyeshadow palettes that I did want to mention in today's video. I think it's been since the beginning of December that I did this kind of video, so I thought we could do that. If you're wondering what's on my face, what I'm wearing, make sure you check the description box below because I try to always list everything that I'm wearing. But in case you're wondering, I did an eye look with the Muerte palette by Melt, and I just wanted to go bold eye, bold lip for a day. I'm not sure why, but I think because I spent such a good chunk of 2019 wearing neutral, like nude lips, I thought we could do something a little bit differently for today's video. So yeah, let's just get to all of these new releases that I wanted to mention. So the first item I want to mention is the Amy Hearts Beauty and Amy Loves Makeup collab. They released a palette together called the Alma palette, and a lot of people were raving about this, so I'm pretty sure it's really good quality. But I think it was like a one-time thing and it's gone out of stock, so this is not something I will be picking up. Again, I have a lot of these shades in other palettes now, so I don't feel the need to buy this. It does seem to have some really stunning purples though. But there's also like, if I look at the palette, it looks really interesting, but then I look at the swatches and I don't see a lot of variety. So that's why this isn't really something I'm going to get. Then Ace Beauté has launched a new palette as well. It's called the Vintage Dawn. And this is warm tones with a pop of blue and green. And you know how I feel about warm tones. Not necessarily my cup of tea. So that is something I am going to skip, but I do really like Ace Beauté quality. I bought their Oceanic palette last year and I really enjoyed that. So ColourPop is coming out, or came out in December, with these like butterfly inspired palettes. And I don't know, but ColourPop just seems to be doing a lot of things that are like, that seem to be repeats of palettes that they discontinued. And then I'm like, why don't you just keep the palettes that worked? Because some of this looks like I think it's the Femme Rosa and the You Had Me at a Hello. I think that's still available. But some of these color stories just look very similarly to things they've already done. So I don't feel it's very new and exciting. Makeup Revolution, or I Heart Revolution, has come out with these teddy bear palettes, which it's just a bit of a gimmick, really. I don't think that this is going to be my cup of tea. It seems very bulky packaging, so it's going to be incredibly difficult to store. So this is not up my alley at all. What is up my alley is the Linda Hallberg, what's this called? Enchanted Mysteries palette. And this has a green, like a white sparkly shade, like a bronzy gold, and a black. And Linda Hallberg is a brand I haven't tried anything from. It's pretty hard to get here, but I think it's for sale on Beauty Bay, so that could make it a little easier to get. This is also $59 for 4 shades, but they seem to be really sort of like different kind of shadows. There's 2 metallics and 2 duochromes in here. I just think this looks stunning, and on some of the campaign shots, like that makeup that they did in those was just absolutely stunning. I just don't think that, like with the black and the bronzy gold, I don't think I would use that though. So that's why I may not buy this yet, but Linda Hallberg may be a brand that I need to sort of keep an eye out for. Now this was a brand that I had already noticed that it was going to be released before I did one of my previous videos, but it hadn't come out yet, so I decided to skip it then. But Kesha came out with a palette and a complete makeup line, and I think you can get it from her website. It's called Kesha Rose Beauty, and it comes with an eyeshadow palette that seems like, I don't know, a little kid put it together. I'm not really sure about this. It's a round palette, and then you get like a purple and a pink and a red and a silver and a green and what seems to be like a burgundy and a glittery shade. I don't really get the color story of this one, so no can do. A palette that really intrigued me when I first spotted it is the Grimoire palette by V Cosmetics. It's spelled V-E, and this is a stunning cool tone palette, you guys. And you know how I feel about cool tones, and I feel that, like, I was really hoping more brands would come out with it. This has already dropped, I think. I think this has already been released, but this looks like a stunning palette. I may have to, like, track this down and see if I can buy it. May very well be that it's very expensive to ship over here. Haven't looked into it yet, but that's definitely one that I would potentially put on a wish list. Then for the holidays, Pat McGrath came out with a Star Wars collection. I think it's just Star Wars packaging because it seems to include palettes that were already out, if I'm not mistaken. It seems to. Like, I don't know, but with Pat McGrath, I feel that the color stories just are a bit, like, samey as well. And I'm like, is this now new, or did you just change the packaging? Like, I'm not even sure. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, so you know how I feel about this, right? This is not going to be something I'm going to track down. Drunk Elephant is coming out with a new, what's this called? A super moisturizing overnight face masks. And Drunk Elephant is a brand that definitely intrigues me. But I do think that a lot of their products are just a little bit overhyped and overpriced for what they seem to do. I think that The Ordinary does something very similarly at a much more affordable price point. That being said, I think that this can be something that's really nice. I am still sort of looking for like a good hydrating overnight mask. I really like the Lala Retro Cream that I was first able to try when I went to New York. So this may be something that if I can find it here in Europe, that I might purchase at some point in time. Then there is, I think this is an indie brand called Artitude, and they are releasing a color splash palette. And it's already out, and it's sort of like rainbow colors, some matte rainbow colors. You also get a good deal of shimmers, and you get some neutrals. So this seems to be quite an good all-rounder, it seems. I don't know anything about the quality of this. It seems to be quite affordable because it's only $20 or 16 pounds. So that's pretty good too. It's a UK brand. So this is intriguing. It's just not a color story that currently really appeals to me because I already bought a lot of this kind of stuff in 2019. So I don't feel I really need to add this to my collection. And Manny MUA and Morphe are coming out with a collab and a palette. And it's like pink tones. And I'm like, didn't we do this in the Strawberry Dream palette by Lunar Beauty, which is Manny MUA's brand? So I don't know, this just seems very superfluous to me. But then again, I feel that way about a lot of Morphe stuff. Nothing new, nothing exciting, nothing to go crazy over in my opinion. ColourPop came out with a gold palette for the holidays. It's called Good as Gold. Why are they putting butterflies on everything all of a sudden? What's up with that? Can anyone explain? You know how I feel about gold eyeshadow? Not really my favorite. It does seem to have a couple of like nice like mustardy browns. You know how I feel about mustard browns. That's one of my favorite things. But all of those shimmers, I know I wouldn't use. So what's the point? Something I'm very excited for is the fact that Clionadh is going to be extending their stained glass collection. They've been teasing a couple of pictures online, but nothing solid has been revealed yet. It seems that they are going to be doing a restock as well as a sale in January. So I'm sort of like keeping an eye on their Instagram to see when all of this is going to go down. They should be releasing what shades they will be adding sometime soon in the next couple of weeks. I'm super excited for it. Not sure if I will pick anything up straight away. I may want to wait out this round and wait for the next round because if you saw my Black Friday haul, you know I have plenty of new makeup to play with, so there's no reason why I would be buying anything for the foreseeable couple of weeks or maybe even months, because I'm good on the makeup. Then indie brand Hip Dot is coming out with a new palette. I think it's already out. It's called the Opulence Eyeshadow Palette. This looks really cool. It has a really good array of jewel tones, and I love jewel tones. That emerald green, that really nice sort of like sapphire blue, and this like amethyst like purpley shade. It looks really stunning. It seems to have a couple of pressed glitters, and then most of the neutrals are quite warm toned, which if those two like orangey browns up in the right hand corner had been like more neutral or cooler tone browns, I would have liked this a lot better. So for now, this is going to be a no. BH Cosmetics has come out with a new collab, which is a very colorful eyeshadow palette. It's already online. It came out on December 11th. Not sure what it's actually called, but it's sort of like the BH Cosmetics times someone else. I don't know who that is. It seems to have lots of fun colors. It's got a full row of neutrals at the top, and then you get these bright neon shades at the bottom. That looks really stunning, but I don't think, again, that this is something I need. I just got the BH Cosmetics Fairy Lights palette, so I've got enough to play around with. A lot of brands are coming out with stuff for the Lunar New Year, which I think is at the end of January. Clinique is releasing a cheek pop highlighter, especially for this new lunar year, and it looks really, really stunning. It's got a cute rat on it, because I think it's going to be the year of the rat. And it's supposed to be available in Asia, but I'm not sure if it's going to get to any other territories. It says here that it will, but I don't think we will get it over here. It seems to be a really pretty champagne shade. But yeah, this is not something I want to get, but the packaging was really cute. Makeup Revolution has come out with color books, which are these large palettes that sort of flap open, and then you have a full array of one sort of color spectrum, which I think is super duper clever. They do this, they do a very warm toned one with like yellows, reds, and oranges. Then they do two neutral ones, one with sort of like the warmer spectrum, but also one with a lot of grays and some browns. But half that palette seems to be very light and samey. And you know that that's how I feel about a lot of Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palettes, especially when they do these larger ones, that you just get a bunch of shades that are interchangeable and that you really don't need. They also do like a purpley pink one and then a blue-green one. If this had come out a year ago, I might have picked this up, but right now I feel I'm good on my pink, purple, blue, and green shades. So no reason for me to get some of those. For the holidays, is this for the holidays? I don't think so. Charlotte Tilbury has extended her Pillow Talk line with an eyeshadow palette. It's the style of her larger like holiday palette, so I'm not sure if this is limited edition or not, but it seems to be, there's no information on this being limited edition. I really like the Pillow Talk lipstick, and I actually just purchased the blush in Pillow Talk over Christmas break, so I'm going to try that. I tend to really like the Pillow Talk line, but this seems to be a bit basic, and that's something that in terms of eyeshadow I have enough of. You definitely need to sort of step up your game if you want to interest me for your eyeshadow offerings. This next one is a bit of an odd one because I thought this was going to be eyeshadow when I first saw it, but Likely Makeup came out with the Fairy Blush Palette, and it features green, orange, pink, and purple blush. I don't know about you, a peachy orange and a pink and also a purple, I know, can be really, really cool blush colors. But green? I've never seen anyone do anything like that before. So I'm just really curious if there's going to be anyone who's going to try this out to see how it will wear. Not something that I personally want to get, but this is the kind of stuff where I'm like, ooh, I'm intrigued. It's not for me. Definitely not, but this is the kind of stuff that I hope brands will be coming out with more. Make it interesting, challenge us to step outside the box. A palette that's not challenging anyone to step out of their box is NARS's newest release. It's the Afterglow eyeshadow palette. It's limited edition, and it's warm tones. I do like that you get like this bright pop of pink in there. That's a really nice touch. But I feel that this is the kind of color story that we've been seeing a lot. This looks like something Too Faced did 2 years ago for like their extra spice gingerbread palette. Like that's what this looks like. Again, ColourPop did a release with Becky G, the Hola Chola palette, warm tones. I know, I sound like a broken record, but this is just not up my street. MAC is also tapping into the lunar year here with a stunning highlighter with that dragon impressed in it. I think that looks stunning, but here's the reason why I'm not getting this one. Because I would buy this and then put it in a corner of my makeup collection where I wouldn't use it, because yes, I would be that person who didn't want to ruin the pattern. Like, I would be that person. So I know that if I were to purchase this, it wouldn't get used. And I do buy makeup to try and use it. So this is not something that I like for myself. However, if you're an avid MAC collector, I'm pretty sure that you will really, really love this, because this looks stunning. BH Cosmetics has again come out with something new. They have extended their Zodiac line with a big palette, and this is the Crystal Zodiac. And it seems to have these like tie-dye kind of shades, which I'm not sure if I'd like that, because then you really depend on where you sort of put your brush into the pan, what kind of color you would get. So I'm not a big fan of that. You do seem to get a really, really nice highlighter in the middle, and you get a good array of mattes and shimmers in this. So this looks really stunning, but the color story is a little all over the place for me. So not something I'm going to try. Then I also found this new indie brand that is launching, Dido Cosmetics apparently, and they are coming out with eyeshadow palettes inspired by the galaxy. So there's the Shiny Sunshade palette and the Saturn Shade palette, which seem to be quite neutral. They also have the Galaxy Shade palette, which looks like completely inspired by something BH Cosmetics already did. It seems to be planet inspired, where you get different sizes and different sort of colors depending on the different planets in our solar system, which I think is a really, really cool touch. There's also an Earth palette, which seems to have some blues. I think it looks like a really cute release. Definitely a brand that I think I would like to see more by, but none of this really piques my interest too much. Too Faced has released information on a new release that they will be coming out with in February. This is the Born This Way, no? It's called the Natural Nudes palette, and it's inspired by the range of shades in their Born This Way foundation. That was the information that I found. Cute idea. I think that's a really, really good idea, but this is like 25 shades of beige in different undertones. Like the foundation, of course, which is a cute idea, but I wouldn't see myself using this. It's too neutral for what I would like. Now let's talk about a release that I'm super excited for, and it's not eyeshadow, but it's Urban Decay. And you know how I feel about Urban Decay. They, like, whenever they release something new, I'm always like, ooh. But this time around, I'm not only like, ooh, I'm like, ooh, yeah. Because I've never tried a powder by Urban Decay. I wanted to try their Naked Skin powder at some point, but right when I sort of wanted to buy it, they were discontinuing it, and they are now coming out with the replacement for that, and it's the Stay Naked The Fix Powder Foundation. So I'm not sure if it's going to be for me, because powder foundation to me sort of reads dry and cakey mess, which I don't like. It won't be out here until February. I think it should be available online by now, but it won't be in stores until February. And this is the kind of product that I first want to try out in store before I do anything else. The packaging seems to be really cute, and it seems to be coming in 24 different shades. So that sounds really, really stunning. Another great release that I think is very smart are the new eyeshadow palettes by Fenty Beauty. These are called the Snap Shadows Mix and Match, and these are 6-pan palettes, so they're really nice and small, and they come in a really good array of shades, I find. They are $25 each, or you can get 2 for $45, which is a good thing, I think. These I would have to see in real life. The color stories, again, quite neutral, warm tones. That there doesn't really seem to be a lot of cool tones apart from some purples. I don't think the color stories of these are necessarily my cup of tea, so that's why I don't think I'll get them. But if I were to see them in store, I definitely want to check them out. Odin's Eye, which is a Swedish indie brand, I believe, is coming out with a larger palette. I'm not sure what it's going to be called. There's no name here. But Odin's Eye apparently has pretty good quality. I've never tried anything by them. They are a European-based indie brand, so I would definitely like to try them at some point. But this palette isn't going to be it, because it's very neutral. And quite weird array of like golds, and then you get these like pinks. I'm not sure. This is not speaking to me. Tarte is coming out. I'm not exactly sure when, but it seems to have come out sometime in December. The Buzz collection is what they've come out with. The eyeshadow palette is called BU, and it's golds and oranges and bronzes and lots of warm tones. I like the beehive aspect of it. I think that's really, really cutesy. I just don't think that this is necessarily going to be for me. A high-end release, which is not something I talk about a whole lot, but Estee Lauder foundation, like I love their Double Wear Nude, and they are coming out with the Futurist Hydrating Rescue Moisturizing Foundation with SPF 45. It's supposed to be breathable full coverage with a radiant finish, but also hydrating, soothing, and protecting. It's going to be available in 20 different shades. It's supposed to be coming soon. I'm not sure what that means for the Netherlands. It will probably take a while before we get anything like this. But this is the kind of foundation I'm like, ooh. I'm not entirely sold on the full coverage, but the good thing about full coverage foundation is this, if you use less of it, you can sheer it out usually. So this is something that if I were to see it in store again, I would definitely check it out. Something super exciting is the fact that Sydney Grace is coming out with a new palette. It's going to be available on the 13th of January. I'm not entirely sure what it's called. And Enduring Love, I think it's called. And they seem to have like a lighter and a deeper version. At least that's what I've seen swatches of. There are a couple of really nice cool tones in this palette, but there's also a couple of warm tones. Again, this isn't necessarily something that really speaks to me, even though that sort of magenta, blue, and also purple shade, those look really stunning. But I think if I were to purchase anything again from Sydney Grace, it would be their singles. That's just what I want. So something new by e.l.f. that has come out is a new addition to the Camo Concealer family. They've come out with a hydrating version. I have yet to try any of my e.l.f. goodies on my face, but I did already swatch the Camo Concealer that I had, and it felt a little bit thick and perhaps a bit drying for my personal tastes. So maybe if I can find this at some point, then I might want to try it if the other one doesn't really work out for me. But that was something I thought was really clever. Remember what I said in my sort of makeup predictions? I was hoping for more hydrating products, and we seem to be getting them, so I'm very happy about that. Juvia's Place has released some mini palettes, violets, nudes, berries, and chocolates. Really stunning and very clever, because I think it's a great thing that they are doing these 6-pan palettes now. They retail for $13.99 each, or you can get a bundle for $52, which I think is a good price point. But I do think that if you were to buy one of the larger Juvia's Place palettes, then it actually would be cheaper, because I think their Zulu and like their 9-pan palettes retail for like $15, and you do get 3 extra shades, and these pans are a lot smaller, it seems. The purple one is the one that intrigues me the most, but the other 3, not really my cup of tea. Not just the color stories of these don't really speak to me, so not something I will be buying. Then a sneak peek was released of the Midas Cosmetics and Smoky Glow collab. So Hannah from Smoky Glow is sort of like a commentary beauty channel here in YouTube. I sometimes watch some of her videos. I think she usually has some really good opinions about things, and yeah, really sort of takes makeup from a very sort of, how should I say this? Like, she's coming from a very sort of, well, logical perspective from what I can tell. So it's really cool to see that she has this collab going on. I don't think we've seen pictures of the inside yet. For now, we just have packaging. So curious to see what that will bring. And then something I'm pretty excited for is the fact that Hourglass is coming out with a new concealer, the Vanish Liquid Concealer, which is going to be available in 22 shades. And we now have Hourglass here in Rotterdam. I just spotted it the other day. So if this is going to come out here, I would definitely see and try it out. I did buy an Hourglass foundation in 2019, but I just haven't used it a whole lot yet. It's something that is on my to try list for this winter. So that's something that I will be doing for sure. Then Wet n Wild is coming out with a dewy version of their famous Photo Focus foundation. I just hope that this is going to smell better than the original version, because that smells like paint thinner. I just can't get over how bad that smells. But they're coming out with a dewy version, which I think is really, really cool. So again, something that I would potentially try, because I did like the original Photo Focus apart from that smell. But I definitely would wait for some reviews of this. Maybe some people I watch on YouTube might try this out to see how it goes. If it still smells really badly, I know I won't try it. Ofra is coming out with new baked eyeshadows. Baked shadows. I still have yet to try that BH Cosmetics Aurora palette that I picked up. And that's going to be one of the first arrays in years that I'll have with baked eyeshadows, because they're just not my favorite kind of texture to work with. So this is something I will definitely pass up on unless I decide to like truly fall in love with it. Then Colored Rain has come out with the Book of Shadows, and this seems to be an empty palette that you can slot eyeshadows into, and it sort of flips open like a book, which I think is a very, very clever idea. What I wish it had though was a place for all shapes and sizes of pans. Now it needs to fit perfectly in order for this to work out, which is why I will pass up on this. But I think the idea of having this palette that flaps open like a book is really, really clever. So I hope they will start doing this, but then with like just like a magnetized backing, and that's it. So you can really sort of put all your singles into one place. That would be lovely. Another new release by BH Cosmetics. Geez, they're churning out new releases, it seems. This is the Digital Future eyeshadow palette, and this just really reminds me of that Fairy Lights palette that I just picked up. It seems to have a couple of brighter shades perhaps, but other than that, these shades look very similar, so I'm not sure why they are releasing this. Oh well. It seems to be only $12 though. So I'm pretty sure some people will be trying this, but this is not going to go on my wish list anytime soon. And then we've come to the final palette I want to talk about. This I just saw today as I'm recording this. Glamlight is coming out with the Cake palette, Rainbow Brights. Does seem to have a couple of good shimmers, but I don't know. This whole like food inspired makeup, no, I don't get it. So this is not something that I'm personally interested in, but I think that this does look cute. It's coming out January 4th, so when this video goes live, it's just come out. So maybe you can pick this up if you want to get some rainbow colors. This could be nice, but didn't they also do a paint palette? Isn't that like essentially the same thing? So I just feel that this first sort of releases video of 2020 is not necessarily filled with the most unique, life-changing sort of product. Definitely a couple of things here that I'm interested in, but the majority of the things coming out, I'm like, have it, have it, have it, not interested, just no. So yeah, that was my lowdown for this month. I'm going to be saving some more pictures on my phone in the next couple of months so we can chat about some new makeup releases again at the start of February. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I now make 3 videos a week on this channel, and I have just started my book channel over on Floating in Books. So make sure you check that out if you want to see some bookish content by me. And then I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!